All right, let's talk about something that's on everyone's mind, cyber risk. It feels complicated, right? Well, today we're going to cut through the noise. Using the amazing work of Carlos Morales as our guide, we're going to lay out a straightforward roadmap to handle this stuff in the real world. Let's jump in.
So let's kick things off with a really critical question. For the longest time, everyone thought cyber risk was, an IT thing, something the tech folks in the basement dealt with. But that's just not the world we live in anymore. This has moved from the server room straight to the boardroom, and it's now a fundamental question of business survival. And look, this isn't just some abstract idea. This is happening right now, in the biggest boardrooms on the planet. When the CEO of a massive company like FEMSA says cybersecurity is a top-tier issue, you know the game has changed. This shift in thinking is the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about today. So that brings us to our first big challenge. We have to get beyond the technical maze. It's time to reframe how we even think about this problem and start seeing the bigger picture. You've probably heard this before, but it's so incredibly true. Security is a journey, not a destination. You don't just get secure and then you're done. It's a constant process. And honestly, it requires a huge cultural shift inside an organization, where every single person, from an intern all the way up to the CEO, gets that they have a part to play. Okay, so if we're on a journey, what do we need? First up, a compass. And for us, that compass is a shared language of risk. We need to make sure that when we talk about this stuff, everyone, from the engineers to the executives, is speaking the same language. So let's get on the same page. What even is a cyber risk? It's not just some vague, spooky thing out there. For a risk to actually exist, you need three things to come together. A threat, that's your hacker or malware. A vulnerability, that's the unlocked door, like old software. And the potential impact, what it would actually do to your business. You need all three. Take one away, and poof, the risk is gone. Now, to make this language even more powerful, we got to put some numbers on it. We use terms like likelihood. How probable is it that this bad thing happens? We use annual loss expectancy, or ALE, to figure out what a risk might cost us over a year, and value at risk, or VAR, to guess the absolute worst-case loss. The whole point here is to stop talking about vague dangers and start talking about real dollars and cents that the business can understand and act on. All right, we've got our compass. That's our shared language. Now we need a map. That's where risk management frameworks come in. They give us the structure, the plan, the turn-by-turn directions to manage risk the right way every time. Let's check out one of the most popular maps out there, the NIST Risk Management Framework. As you can see, it's a super clear 7-step process. But the key thing to notice is that it's a loop, not a straight line. It's designed to build security into everything you do from the very beginning. And that last step, monitor, is crucial. It feeds right back into the beginning because the journey never ends. But hey, NIST isn't the only map in the atlas. You've got options. While NIST is all about the process, a framework like FAIR is all about the money. It's brilliant at turning cyber risk into financial terms that a CFO can really sink their teeth into. The most important thing, just pick a map that works for you and stick with it. Okay, compass? Check. Map? Check. What's next on any journey? You need your toolkit. And in the world of cybersecurity, that toolkit is all about your fundamental security controls. These tools are the absolute basics, the non-negotiables. I mean, you can't build a strong defense without them. It all starts with something that sounds simple, but is actually really hard. Just knowing what you have, your technology, your information. Because you can't protect what you don't even know exists. From there, it's all about controlling access, constantly hunting for weaknesses, and keeping an eye on your network. This reminds me of a fantastic analogy from the source material about why good design is so critical, and it involves the Titanic. The ship was built with separate compartments to contain flooding, which sounds like a great idea. But here's the fatal flaw. The walls between compartments didn't go all the way to the ceiling. So when one flooded, the water just spilled over into the next and the next and the next. That's exactly what a flat, unsegmented network is. One little breach and the whole organization can go down. So we've got our compass, our map, our tools. Where are we actually going? What's the destination of this journey? While the ultimate goal isn't just about being secure, it's something bigger, something more profound. It's about achieving cyber resilience. So, what is resilience? Think of it this way. Resilience is the ability to take a punch, stay on your feet, and keep fighting. It's accepting that you can't block every single attack, but you can be ready to manage the ones that get through.
And this is the most critical part, keep your business running. It's about continuity, not just prevention.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. Cyber resilience, that sounds huge, maybe even impossible. Kind of like when JFK stood up in the 60s and said America was going to put a man on the moon. How did they do it? They didn't just aim a rocket and hope for the best. They broke it down into small, manageable steps. First, get into orbit. Then, figure out how to dock, step by step. That's exactly how you achieve resilience. It's a massive goal, but you get there with small, steady, manageable wins.
And that's really the question I want to leave you with. Take a hard look at your own organization. Are you just building walls, just trying to be secure? Or are you building the ability to weather any storm, to keep going no matter what, to be truly resilient? Because honestly, the answer to that question is everything.